The abundance of old farmland in Nova Scotia creates lots of opportunities for sustainable food production. Recently, there has been a renewed interest in small-scale farming in the province, and old farmsteads are being purchased that have not been actively farmed for many years. When bringing land back into production, farmers face several challenges and choices as to what techniques to use. There are many examples of farms within the province that have successfully made old farmland productive again. This video series will share with you some of those success stories and provide you with some direction when making choices about purchasing farmland and what's involved in renovating the land so you can operate a successful business.
The land, because it hadn't been worked in 50 years, was relatively poor productivity-wise. It's the activation of the soil and encouraging different plant material and the inclusion of plant material in the soil that activates the soil. And so after a couple of years of rotating crops through that interval, it's become quite productive now.
So it wasn't a matter of choosing the actual farmland, but there's 100 acres on the farm. And so at that point it was deciding which part of the land made sense for me to grow vegetables on. And I wanted about 9 acres for my whole rotation of vegetables and green manures. So I started looking at what made sense for me. I knew I needed water for washing and packing. I knew I needed power to run the fans and the heater in the greenhouse. And I knew I wanted a certain section of land that would be easy enough to section off into blocks for a rotation and put roads in and a flat enough spot where I could put greenhouses. So there was a few factors that came into play. So this isn't the most ideal exposure. It's flat, part of the land is flat, and then part of it has a slight north slope, which has worked out okay for vegetables. And I think having it slightly sloping is actually good for some drainage as well. So I've had to work with the land, but it's coming along.
My name is Reg Deloria, and we have a mixed farm here. Cattle, pigs, chickens, turkeys, sheep occasionally, a little bit of everything. I think it depends on how fast you want to get up and going, because it is quite expensive to take an older farm that's hasn't seen a lot of work in years to turn the whole thing around. So I think it depends on how much you have to put in it at the time. We're seeing a difference doing a little bit every year. That's been the cheapest route for us so far, just because we're limited amount of money to work with. But yeah, you just have to define your goal of what you want to see. If you want to turn it around in a hurry, then you've got a lot of work ahead of you.
The fields were good quality. I could see the potential, but they needed some work. I just looked around and saw that other farmers in that same area were doing what I wanted to do. It only made sense that I could raise cattle and grow some good pasture here in Old Barns, Nova Scotia.